Right,
Once
no
again,
problem. I just saw an email saying she's going to another meeting.
oh, okay, no problem. Okay, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for the IMAS Open Day, where we'll be covering CIMA and ACCA. We are ready to start on our side. I see the numbers have increased. Some of our colleagues who are still coming, they will find us along the way. Let's start. As I've indicated, ladies and gentlemen, should you have any questions, we will be opening up the floor at the end of the presentation. The presentation should take about an hour or so. And then once I'm done with the presentation, feel free then to interact with me. Otherwise, feel free to post your questions on the chat group and make them visible to everybody so that my colleagues Tabang and Monwabisi can kindly assist with any questions that you may have. Mr. Raymond, how many minutes would you like me to allocate to you to chat?
Maximum 10.
Maximum 10. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Mr. Raymond. Okay, let's start, ladies and gentlemen. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. I hope all of you guys can be able to see my screen. The Open Day is hosted by the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy, and its aim is to cover CIMA and ACCA content and tell you why you should consider one of the two qualifications, or you can do one, finish it, and do the other one. You know, we've got bookworms here at IMAS who have done ACCA and now they're doing CIMA, or have either done CIMA, now they're doing ACCA, you know, but feel free to do any of the two qualifications, but I'll take you through why you should consider these two qualifications. The agenda for today is to tell you about who is the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy, what exactly do we offer. Number two, take you through both CIMA and ACCA, and most importantly, why you should consider choosing a professional qualification, because both CIMA and ACCA, they are different from an academic qualification. Many of you guys who are joining us this morning are either who are graduates who hold a diploma, a degree, or an honors qualification, and some of you guys could either be master's degree holders, CIPA members, or chartered accountants as well. Therefore, we'll be telling everybody why they should consider professional qualification, and specifically zoom into the CIMA and ACCA syllabus. Then we'll tell you about our student support, where do we offer classes, how do we operate as the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy in delivering both CIMA and ACCA to enable our students to pass their ACCA or CIMA exams. And then towards the end, before we take questions, I will take you through the IMAS value proposition. My name, as I've already indicated, is Nati Teller. I am the founder and the CEO of the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy. I am a chartered accountant by qualification. I've got over 18 years of teaching and tutoring experience, having started at Wits University way back in 2003, where I was tutoring accounting free. Therefore, I've been involved in education for quite some time. However, I also have an impeccable track record in the corporate sector, where I've worked for the likes of Standard Corporate and Merchant Bank, RMB, which is Rand Merchant Bank, MTN, and my last full-time job in corporate was with Nedbank, where I was the head of Group Technology Consolidation, Costing and Transfer Pricing, which I left in March 2015. I used to be involved in teaching. I am no longer involved because I do have a team of capable lecturers that are employed within IMAS that are now running the classes. In terms of who the Institute of Management Accounting is, we are accredited by ACCA. As you may have heard, we've got Mr. Raymond from ACCA, who's the Business Development Manager there. Therefore, he can attest to the fact that we are accredited by ACCA. We are accredited by CIMA, as well as FACET and ICB. For those who may not be familiar with FACET, it is the SETA that looks after the finance and accounting services industry in our country. And our FACET accreditation number is provided there, okay? We are both CIMA and ACCA Global Learning Partner. If you go to the ACCA website and you search for for listed accredited global learning partners, you should come across the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy. Exactly what drives us, what we aspire to be as the Institute of Management Accounting. We aspire to be a leading professional accountancy training institute in Africa. We no longer say in South Africa because we believe that we have actually conquered South Africa. We are the leading professional accountancy training institute in South Africa, focusing on CIMA and ACCA. And I can tell you without any shadow of doubt that we are the #1 CIMA tuition provider in South Africa in terms of student numbers and also in terms of pass rates. We are working very hard to become the #1 ACCA tuition provider by actually making sure that we improve on our pass rates, because as we improve our pass rates, we will be able then to claim that we are the #1. Okay, we always benchmark ourselves with other leading institutions globally in terms of pass rates, in terms of student numbers, in terms of quality of offering. And how do we aspire to become the leading in Africa? We ensure that we recruit the best tutors or lecturers to stand in front of our students. We don't just take any Tom, Dick, and Harry to stand in front of our students. We recruit the best. We provide excellent student support because we fully understand at the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy that studying towards a professional qualification can be a long and lonely journey at times. And therefore, we've got people like Tabang and Monwabisi, who works in our student liaison department, that are always accessible to our students, so that if students are stuck, they need to interact with our lecturers outside of classrooms, then they can be assisted accordingly. We also pride ourselves by forming strategic alliances with a number of employers that can offer training opportunities to our students. As you will see at a later stage, that IMAS is one of it's the only one that I know of actually in terms of institutes that offer both CIMA and ACCA on a full-time basis. We take students straight from matric, we put them through the CIMA and ACCA qualification. We also attract graduates from the likes of UJ, University of Pretoria, Wits University to come after graduating to study on a full-time basis here at IMAS whilst they are looking for jobs. You know what I mean? Therefore, we focus then on opening up opportunities for these students in terms of employment opportunities, okay? We are the official training provider for companies like Unilever, which is one of the largest FMCG companies in the world, you know, because Unilever encourages their students to actually study towards the CIMA qualification. Therefore, we are their official training provider, whilst we also accredited and work with the likes of FNB, ABSA, Standard Bank, Imperial, just to name a few of the companies that we work with. We have a team of just over 28 lecturers and tutors that work at IMAS that are either ACMAs or CGMAs or CASA or ACCA qualified. And we also have some few MBAs that are teaching at the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy. That gives you a nutshell of who we are, what do we aspire to be, what is our team composition like, you know what I mean? I hope it is quite clear in terms of who we are. What exactly do we offer? We currently specialize on the CIMA professional qualification, ACCA professional qualification, ICB qualification, as well as a number of corporate training, where we also go out there in industries and provide tailored training to corporates in areas like finance, accounting, as well as strategic business partnering. That's what we also offer as the Institute of Management Accounting and Strategy. In terms of our delivery method, as I've already indicated, we offer both CIMA, ACCA, and ICB on a full-time basis. Though going into 2022, we will be discontinuing our ICB qualification. We're no longer going to offer ICB. We offer these qualifications on a full-time basis. As I've already indicated, we attract kids from high school as well as graduates to come and study at our Braamfontein campus on a full-time basis. Whilst we also offer part-time evening classes midweek, as well as part-time weekend classes in our Braamfontein campus. Following the dawn of the pandemic, the corona or the COVID-19 pandemic, we decided to shut down our branches in Cape Town, East London, PE, Durban, Pretoria, and Sentin, and actually transition into what we call now live online classes. Therefore, it doesn't matter where you could be based in South Africa, we will be able to offer you support. What do? We stream live our part-time classes, okay? Either midweek in the evenings or on weekend. Whatever we teach on, like during the week, we repeat it on weekend so that we can be able to offer you guys flexibility, because some of you guys could be busy with month-end, year-end, mid-year reports at work, and you're unable to attend evening classes. You can be able then to catch up on weekend, because whatever we teach midweek, we repeat on weekend. Therefore, these live online classes, they use a platform similar to Zoom, where you guys are given access, and then you can be able then to interact with our lecturers. It's a highly interactive platform that we use. You can stop the lecturer and ask a question. He will be able to give you assistance there and there, okay? We also offer CIMA and ACCA on a distance learning, which is supported by our online student portal, which I will demonstrate to you guys at a later stage. Therefore, if maybe you're based somewhere in Springbok and you're looking for a bit of flexibility, what then do? We deliver books at the comfort of your home or office, and then we give you login details to our student portal. Then you can be able then to watch pre-recorded classes, but you will be added into a WhatsApp group where like-minded students then will be part of that group, and will be the lecturer who leads that particular course, as well as some of our administration staff that can assist you whenever you are stuck. Okay, I hope you fully understand in terms of our delivery methods. Why you should consider pursuing a professional qualification. As I've already indicated, a professional qualification is different from an academic qualification. When we speak of an academic qualification, you are just given knowledge on a particular subject matter. For an example, they teach you accounting, debit, and credit. Whereas a professional qualification, it tends to focus on what you need to succeed in a corporate world. It is very practical in its nature. That's what a professional qualification is. It focuses on the skills and the competencies that you need in order to broaden your career opportunities. Why? Because professional qualifications by their nature will make your CV more credible. When you stand up in front of somebody, or you go for an interview, you say, I am a chartered global management accountant, or I'm a chartered certified accountant. People start taking you serious because they know the rigor that you had to go through, you know what I mean, in order to obtain a professional qualification. That is why there are very limited people with a professional qualification, because it is quite an intense journey, you know, but that's worth it at the end of the day. Okay, therefore, when you stand out there and say, I'm a chartered accountant, then people are like, okay, now we can give you an ear. Or you're a chartered global management, you're a chartered certified accountant. They take you serious. Okay, that is why we're saying obtaining a professional qualification will make your CV more credible. It's going to expand your skill set. Why? Because when you pursue either ACCA or you pursue CIMA, you're going to acquire new skills, as well as refreshing and updating your knowledge. Some of you guys may be out of university for a number of years, and you have forgotten how to account for leases, for an example. And some of you guys may have left university during the time where operating lease was expense and a finance lease was capitalized. Things have changed. There's a new IFRS statement. Therefore, now you're going to acquire new skills. On some of the statements that have come out since you left university, you know, you're going to be shocked. How do we account for things like revenue? Things have changed. Therefore, now you are going to update your knowledge. But we're not just going to teach you like they will teach you at university. Both ACCA and CIMA, they've got case studies that seek to simulate the real work environment and give you an opportunity to apply what you have learned from your different subjects into a simulated work environment. That's very important. That's what set apart professional qualifications. The qualifications, ladies and gentlemen, are extremely comprehensive. and could help you to decide where you want to specialize in terms of the future. Okay, maybe you want to be a tax consultant, or you want to run your own accounting firm. You know what I mean? You have that opportunity when you pursue a qualification like ACCA to choose the area in which you can specialize in. Or if you pursue CIMA and you want to specialize in risk management, you can have that particular opportunity as well. And more than anything, and the reason why many of us actually study after graduating from different institutions of higher learning is because we want to boost our earning potential. We are tired of being overlooked because we are not CAs, right? That is why some of you guys could be here this morning. It's because you want to boost your earning potential. You want to climb that corporate ladder. But every time an opportunity comes in, you are told that you only have a BCom or you only have a diploma. Therefore, when you pursue a professional qualification, you stand a chance of boosting your earning potential. And also a professional qualification, because of how it is structured, it's going to build your confidence. That's what you need to fully understand about professional qualification. There is another reason why you should consider pursuing a professional qualification, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to give you an example before I go back to that reason. If you look at the car plant of yesterday, it is characterized by a combination of things, but it was largely meant by human beings like you and I. But if you look at the car plant of today, it is meant by robots. You hardly see individuals. If they are there, there is a limited number of human beings. You know what I mean? And therefore, one of the key elements that you'll get by pursuing a professional qualification is that there is commitment to continuous professional development. You know, you are constantly being updated with any changes that affects your profession. That's what you need to fully understand, ladies and gentlemen. You get articles sent to you. There are webinars that are hosted on an ongoing basis to make sure that your skills and your knowledge is continuously refreshed. And if there's something new, you are also provided with what's happening in the accounting world, what's happening in the world in general that affects the accounting and finance profession. That's what you need to fully understand. Okay, there are huge changes that are taking place in the finance world, and they are largely driven by the world that we are operating in, which is constantly changing. Many of you guys may have heard so many people, most especially last year, speak about the new normal. And all of these changes in the environment in which we are operating in as finance professionals are having a huge impact on those organizations that employs us. But number two, are having an impact on the skills that we require as finance professionals and the expectations that corporates has on us. And that's what we need to understand. Therefore, we need to assimilate the real world and plan, you know, how do we integrate ourselves into the real world? And that's very important. I'm just trying to show you what is driving the change and putting pressure on us as finance professionals. The world needs strategic, forward-thinking professional accountants. You know, it's gone are those days where the world expects us to just do debits and credits and provide a report and that's it. They want us to assist in terms of formulating and contributing to strategy formulations. That's what we need to understand. Assist our organizations in formulating what will give them a competitive advantage, which means now our unique blend of skills as finance professionals are becoming more and more critical. And these unique blends of skills is what you will get by pursuing a professional qualification like ACCA and CIMA. That's what you need to fully understand, ladies and gentlemen. And thirdly, you need to understand that professional accountants are more vital than ever. Why? Because we play a critical role in keeping economies stable, in accounting for economies, making sure that there is a fairer and transparent ways in which economies are run. We also play a critical role in helping our organizations to grow and prosper beyond where they are today. We evaluate different strategies and advise on which one could really work for the organization. That's what we need to understand. We are constantly being looked at as value drivers and value contributors, and that's key. More than anything, ladies and gentlemen, what is driving this change is the need for our organizations and our profession to adapt to the digital world, which is coupled with changing technologies. Many technologies are impacting on us as finance professionals, and more especially those of us that are in like low like junior positions in our organizations. Why? Because there are systems now that are coming through that are going to replace what we do at the junior and middle level. And that is why we're saying some of these technologies that we're speaking about are automated systems and cloud computing, artificial intelligence and machine learning, big data, data analytics and visualization, blockchain, you know what I mean? And as well as process automation. All of these are having an impact on our organizations, but most importantly, are having an impact on us as finance professionals. And that's what we need to understand. And therefore, in the midst of all these changes that are impacting us, therefore, the professional qualifications that we are presenting to you today have actually come up with solutions to assist us, you know, to adapt to this changing environment that we find ourselves in. If we look at CIMA, they produced a white paper about 3 years ago that looks at reinventing finance for the digital world. In essence, then, what this paper seeks to do is to tell the story, okay, on how new competencies are emerging and their implications for finance professionals, employers, you, and us in the academia world, including regulators and policymakers. Therefore, it means today you need to ensure that we can acquire new competencies so that you can contribute positively to your organization. And that's very important. That is why we speak about reinventing finance for a digital world. We need to possess skills that are relevant. And that's what you need to understand. And this now culminated in CIMA revising their competency framework, which in essence then said, we do not just want to produce accountants that can think in terms of debits and credits. However, we want to ensure that from a technical skills point of view, our accountants, our professional accountants that studies towards the CIMA qualification, they are competent when it comes to technical skills. They master accounting, they master management accounting, you know, they master risk identification and mitigation skills. They master corporate governance. These are technical skills, right? But over and above that, we want to make sure that they possess a business acumen skills that can enable them to look at numbers in the eyes of the CEO, be able to fully understand what are the key levers that drives an organization. That's what we need to understand. CIMA looks beyond just technical skills, but it seeks to empower you with business skills so that then when I say to you, your organization is currently busy on a strategy formulation, therefore you can go with the executives to, let's say, to Muldersdrift or wherever they normally go for strategy get together. You can be part of that conversation because you fully understand and you possess business acumen skills. That's the key thing. Thirdly, we need to ensure that CIMA qualified accountant also have people skills. Some of you guys may have been thrown into the deep end because your manager may have left and now you are expected to lead your fellow colleagues, but we have not been empowered. But when you pursue a qualification like CIMA, we make sure that you are empowered with human resources skills that are critical in driving the organization forward. Therefore, we cover things like motivation. How do you motivate your people? How do you reward your people? How do you even measure their performance? These are critical skills that an all-round professional who can even ascend to strategic positions within an organization will need. Leadership skills, starting with leading self, lead a team, lead a department, and eventually lead an organization. Therefore, we focus on different leadership skills, and then we show you how different leadership styles can actually be tailor-made for different environment. And that's what you need to fully understand. But at the center of what the CIMA qualification aims to do, it aims then to empower you with digital skills, so that then when people out there are busy talking about stuff that they don't even understand themselves, called 4IR, Fourth Industrial Revolution, you can know what is the impact of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, what characterizes the Fourth Industrial Revolution, what is driving the Fourth Industrial Revolution. Therefore, we want you to be in the know-how of what are these disruptive technologies that are impacting your organizations, that are impacting the finance environment, and therefore how can you also utilize them within finance, utilize them within the organization. That's what we speak about when we speak about what? Digital skills. That's when we speak about an all-round finance professional. But underpinning all of these areas of focus of the CIMA qualification, ladies and gentlemen, is the need for us to produce ethical accountants that have integrity and a high level of professionalism. And that's what we need to understand. I don't have to remind some of you guys of the scandals of the last 2-3 years. We've seen the likes of KPMG embroiled, in a number of scandals that caused a number of partners, to leave the firm. We've seen the likes of Anuj Singh, CFO, former CFO of Eskom and Transnet, being embroiled in scandals. You know what I mean? Therefore, it is very important that we can awaken that conscience, that seek to ensure that you as a professional accountant, you can conduct yourself ethically, conduct yourself with integrity and with a high level of professionalism. That's what underpins the CIMA qualification. That's how CIMA responded, to the changing world that we find ourselves in. But ACCA didn't fold its arm as well. They were able to respond appropriately as well by then updating what we call the professional quotient, which is similar, to what we call the CGMA framework, but they call it the professional quotient, right? Therefore, if you look at ACCA, then they say at the center of their qualification, if you can see the red part, is the need to ensure that we focus on technical and ethical competency. That's what then the ACCA qualification is going to give you. It's going to focus on technical and ethical competencies. We're saying the skills and abilities to perform activities to a defined standard while maintaining the highest standards of integrity, independence, and skepticism, which means from a technical point of view, ACCA is going to focus on financial accounting, is going to focus on management accounting, taxation, auditing. You know what I mean? These are the technical skills that it will focus on. And then they don't just end there. They're saying there is a need to ensure that also we develop the intelligence competency in our students and members, which is the ability to acquire and use knowledge, thinking, reasoning, solving problems, and the ability to understand and analyze situations that are complex and ambiguous. And you will see how these things translate into the syllabus as well. Thirdly, they speak about the creative competency, the ability to use existing knowledge in a new situation to make connections, explore potential outcomes, and generate new ideas. That's what ACCA speaks to. Also, they come back. They address the issue of the digital world, okay? They're saying we want to make sure that our students and members, right, they have this awareness of the digital world. Therefore, they speak about the awareness and application of existing and emerging digital technologies, capabilities, practices, strategies, and culture. Because culture can also define whether an organization succeeds or fails. Because when an organization is faced with the pandemic and it needs to adapt its strategies, culture could be the one impediment that actually prevent an organization from responding appropriately. And that's what you need to understand. Therefore, they then zoom into the whole notion of culture and say, how can culture be used, to advance the organization? Emotional intelligence, the ability to identify your own emotions and those of others, harness and apply them to tasks, and regulate and manage them. It's very important. And hence, earlier when I spoke about CIMA, said it's very important that you can be able to lead self before you can lead a team, a department, and an organization. Emotional intelligence become critical. Vision, that's also what they zoom into. They're saying the ability to predict future trends accurately by extrapolating existing trends and facts and filling the gaps by thinking innovatively. Many of you guys will recall from what you've covered in management accounting that obviously we generally use historical information or data to extrapolate or to predict what is likely to happen in the future. That's what we need to understand. Therefore, what comes to mind are tools like your regression analysis or linear regression, as well as time series, how those get used, to predict what is likely to happen in the future. Okay. Lastly, experience, the ability and skills to understand customer expectations, to meet desired outcomes, and to create value. Therefore, this now is the ACCA framework that then informs their syllabus. Therefore, this is how the two professional bodies have responded to the changing environment characterized by digitization, characterized by pandemics, characterized by dynamism. This environment that organizations find themselves in are constantly changing. And therefore, as organizations, we need to respond appropriately. Therefore, now what I want to quickly zoom into, ladies and gentlemen, is to then take you through the CIMA professional qualification in more detail than what I've done so far. Okay, as I've indicated, these professional bodies constantly engage in research, interacts with industries to fully understand what is driving industries, what is impacting the finance profession. Therefore, CIMA conducted a survey which consulted 5,500 finance professionals from over 2,000 organizations in over 150 countries. If you look at this particular picture, you can see South Africa here. There's the South African flag. You can see Kenya, you can see Canada, you can see many countries, Australia, China, and so on and so forth, and the UK as well. You see, therefore, they consulted broadly to understand exactly what is driving this world that we're operating in and the impact it's having on the finance professionals, so that they could come up with what we call competency-based, okay? Competency-based syllabus, because the CIMA syllabus, it aims to generate and enhance certain competencies in our students. It's not just taught in a vacuum, and that's what you need to fully understand. Okay, therefore this now, ladies and gentlemen, gives us CIMA qualification structure. The CIMA qualification structure, ladies and gentlemen, is broken into two. There's what we call the CIMA certificate level and the CIMA professional qualification. Therefore, if you look here at the bottom of this particular picture that I'm depicting in front of you guys, okay, is that the CIMA certificate level, it is an entry level into the qualification for people who do not hold any post-matric qualification. Let's say you only did a matric and you started working. Therefore, you don't have a diploma or degree or an honors in accounting or finance related studies. Therefore, you will start on the CIMA certificate in business accounting. The CIMA certificate in business accounting has 4 subjects. It has fundamentals of business economics, it has fundamentals of management accounting, fundamentals of financial accounting, and fundamentals of ethics, corporate governance, and business law. Therefore, if you want to think in terms of varsity, this certificate is like your first year and your second year at university. Somebody will say, but I don't see mathematics and stats. It is somewhere there. It is integrated in economics and management accounting. Okay, because those who've gone to university, you can see now the subjects that you've covered. Corporate law is part of that BA4 and things like that. Okay, that's what you need to understand. Therefore, upon passing these 4 subjects, ladies and gentlemen, you will be awarded the CIMA certificate in business accounting, which is an NQF level 5 qualification. Because many of you guys will know your matric qualification, it's NQF 4. Okay, therefore the certificate here, it's NQF 5. Okay, Then also it's very important that you understand that the CIMA subject, individual subjects, they are written on demand. What does that mean? It means you can write them anytime you're ready. Okay, you can write these subjects anytime you're ready. You can write them at the comfort of your own home because they are online, and they are largely multiple choice. Largely multiple choice. Okay, all the CIMA individual exams except for the board exam. And when I'm saying the individual exams are on demand, they are largely multiple choice. You can write them in the comfort of your own home, provided you have a reliable internet connection and a laptop. If you do not have a reliable internet and a laptop, you can go to an exam center. For an example, you can go to IMAS, or we can help you to identify an exam center in and around the area where you live. There are so many exam centers across the country. Okay. That's what you need to understand. And all the CIMA exams, they are between 90 minutes, which means it's an hour and a half and 2 hours. Okay. The individual exams. Okay. I'll come back and tell you more about the board exams. Therefore, this then concludes the CIMA certificate, ladies and gentlemen. But if you already have a diploma, a degree, an honors or a master's, or you are a CA or CIPA member, or you've got an MBA, you are eligible for exemptions. But what informs the exemptions, ladies and gentlemen, it's the institute where you've studied, it's the qualification that you have, the underlying subjects that you did, and the year of graduation. Okay, and that's what you need to understand. That's what will inform at which stage of the professional qualification you're going to start in. If you have a diploma, most of the time you start at the operational level. Or if you have a degree, it depends where the degree is from. You could start at operational level, or you could start at management level. If you're a CA, you start at the strategic level, or you CIPA member, you start at management level. Okay. Therefore, if you want to know more about exemptions, ladies and gentlemen, as I can see, there are about 111 of us in this meeting. Therefore, imagine if each and every one of you guys wanted to know which exemptions will I get with my qualification. Therefore, it means we're going to spend the whole day trying to answer that question. Therefore, let me show you how you can check your exemptions if you are interested in CIMA. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to share a different screen now with you. If you come to the CIMA website, for those who do not know, the CIMA website is www.cimaglobal.com. If you come to the CIMA website, ladies and gentlemen, you can come under starting CIMA. If you look now on my right here, you come to search the database for exemptions. So that's where you click. And once you are here, ladies and gentlemen, you click on exemption search. Under exemption search, then you can put your institution. Let's say you studied at University of Johannesburg. You can put University of Johannesburg, then you go find. Then you click now, University of Johannesburg. Then now what you're going to see are the different qualifications from UJ. Let's say you have a BCom financial management, for an example. So you can click here. And then you can come and see, based on somebody who has a BCom financial management from UJ, CIMA says you're going to be exempted the 4 subjects at certificate level, the 3 subjects at operational level, including your first board exam, which is your operational case study, which means you're going to start at management level. That's how you can check your exemptions, ladies and gentlemen. I hope it is clear. And we'll share the link. We are going to send you guys the presentation, and then we'll share the link as well in terms of where you can see your exemptions. But also Tabang and Monwabisi can provide the exemption link on the chat group. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. Therefore, now, what you need to understand then, ladies and gentlemen, the first level at the professional level, it's known as operational level. Okay, this operational level has 3 subjects. You'll see that the CIMA qualification has 3 pillars. There's what we call the finance pillar, which is green here. And then we've got the performance pillar and the enterprise pillar. Therefore, at operational level, you've got financial reporting. That's what this paper is all about. It has about 20% of its content being taxation. Okay? Therefore, that's what you need to understand. The 3 chapters out of the 18 chapters are focusing on taxation. Therefore, the paper used to be called financial reporting and taxation, but now it's just called financial reporting. Therefore, here it's your typical financial accounting, covering different IAS statements, IFRS statements, and then there's an element of taxation and introduction, ladies and gentlemen, to high level audit, which says, what are the different types of audit reports? What informs different audit reports? CIMA is not into auditing. But remember, as you work as a financial manager, CFO, you need to know that we need to be audited. There will be different types of audit reports. But CIMA does not have a standalone auditing subject. Okay, that's what financial reporting is all about. The second element then is known as management accounting. Here we're focusing on short-term decision making. Okay, focusing on concepts like relevant costing. We focus on different costing systems, your activity-based costing, marginal costing, a standard costing. That's what we focus on. And then we focus on budgeting and forecasting. And the last topic we look at here, it's risk and uncertainty. That's what management accounting is focusing on. And then we get to the subject known as E1, or managing finance in a digital world. Therefore, now we move away from the technical skills. We zoom into understanding the environment, this 4IR environment that we are operating in. That's what we zoom into. Understand 4IR, understand different organizational structures that could be used to respond to the environment in which we are operating in. And then we look at all the different disruptive technologies, their impact on the organization, their impact on the finance function. And then we zoom into data. Data has become the new big thing in corporates. How do you use data? We focus on things like big data, data analytics, and how data could actually be used by organizations, okay? And how it can give us an upper hand as well. That's what we look at. Then the last 4 chapters in managing finance in a digital world, we look at how finance interacts with sales and marketing. That's the first one. Number 2, how finance interacts with operations, how finance interacts with human resources. And lastly, how does finance interact with information technology? These are the 3 subjects. You will write the individual subjects. As I said, they are on demand. They are largely multiple choice. When you write the exam at home or in an exam center, your results are released immediately. Okay, that's what you need to understand. Upon completing these 3 subjects, then you'll write your first board exam known as your operational case study exam. The operational case study exam, or all the case studies or the board exams, they are not on demand. There are windows in a year in which then these exams can be written in. And I'll come back and tell you more about those windows and how the exams are actually structured. The exams, they are not multiple choice. They are written exams, obviously, because they are online. You type using your laptop, okay? Upon passing the board exam, you will then be awarded the CIMA diploma in management accounting. Then you progress to the next level, which is management level. Once again, advanced financial reporting. Now we expand on what was taught in financial reporting. That's where now we do consolidations, we look at different IFRS statements, and then we introduce you to financial management. The first 2 chapters here looks at how do you fund an organization between equity and debt, and then how do you determine the weighted average cost of capital. That's what we looked at here. And then the rest, then it's financial reporting. And then you get into P2, which is advanced management accounting. I had said in P1, we focus on short-term decision-making. Now here we're looking at medium to long-term decision-making. We're also looking at performance measurement. That's what we look at here. Okay, we looked at our pricing strategies. We look at transfer pricing. We look then at introduction to risk management. That's what this paper called P2 is all about. Then you come to E2, managing performance. Therefore, once again, we leave the technical elements aside. We look at how do we run an organization. There are 4 elements that we zoom into in this particular topic. Number 1, we look at ecosystems, and organizations are now influenced by the environment in which they are in. Therefore, it's called ecosystems. How the organization relates to its suppliers and its customers, how do they form partnerships, how do they collaborate, cooperate for the advancement of all parties involved. That's what we start looking at, ecosystems. Then we look at business models. Traditional business models are no longer relevant for the digital world. How do we adopt new business models characterized by disruptive technologies? That's what we looked at in E2, okay? And then from there, we look at how do we build effective teams? How do we manage our people? And then lastly, we zoom into project management. That's what E2 is all about, okay? Upon you writing all 3 papers and passing them, then you'll qualify for the second board exam known as management case study exam. Upon passing it, then you'll be awarded the CIMA Advanced Diploma in Management Accounting. Then you do your final level known as the strategic level. Your strategic level, ladies and gentlemen, has 3 subjects once again. Financial strategy, looking at financial objectives. How do we meet those? By formulating a strategy. How do we fund the organization? Debt and equity, the dividends policy of an organization, mergers and acquisition, as well as how do you do valuations of targeted companies that we want to acquire. And then here we zoom into risk management, different types of risk. Obviously, we start by identifying controls in an organization. How do we mitigate poor controls? We put in controls. And then we zoom into a cyber risk. It's big. We focus on cyber risk and formulating a cyber risk strategies. That's what we looked at. And then we look at corporate governance, audit, high level. Okay, that's what we zoom into in this paper, focusing then on also formulating strategies that responds to inherent risk linked to the organization's business. That's what we looked at. Then lastly, we looked at strategic management. How do you formulate an organization strategy? Once you formulate it, how do you implement it? Number 2, how do we formulate a digital strategy for an organization? How do we formulate a change management strategy? How do we change? Because they often say if there's if there are 3 things that are constant in life that are unavoidable, it's change, death, and taxes. You know what I mean? Therefore, change is key. It can impact an organization. How do we change? And that's very important. Upon you writing the 3 exams and passing them, you qualify for your last board exam. When you pass your last board exam, now you submit what we call practical experience requirements, PER. Therefore, now you submit a portfolio of evidence that you have a minimum of 3 years experience. And these 3 years experience, ladies and gentlemen, could have been acquired before starting with your CIMA studies, or you've acquired whilst you were studying or after studying. And there is no specific company that you should have worked for. Therefore, we've got a document that says this is the sort of experience that you need, Okay, and therefore you looked at that document, then you provide CIMA with your detailed CV. They assess it. If they are happy, then they give you the membership that now you are an ACMA, which means you're an Associate Chartered Management Accountant, and also you get the CGMA designation, which stands for Chartered Global Management Accountant. That's how the CIMA qualification, ladies and gentlemen, is structured. What you also need to fully understand, ladies and gentlemen, is that the CIMA qualification could easily be mapped to the changing finance function. For an example, we spoke a lot about the fourth industrial revolution, the digital world, and disruptive technologies. Therefore, what CIMA fully understands is that the bottom layer of finance is being now automated. You know what I mean? Therefore, finance needs now to focus largely, or us as finance professionals need to focus on the third level of the finance structure, which is more influencing and storytelling, providing insight, because this bottom part here is being automated. Therefore, they then map their qualification or the different levels to each of these levels to say, if you're doing operational level, largely you do the assembling and extracting of data. Management, you provide insight. Strategic, you start now to influence and do storytelling. And then obviously I mentioned earlier about continuous professional development. That's more now focusing on strategic leadership. You know what I mean? Although when you get into strategic level, we do also touch on elements of strategic leadership. That's what you need to fully understand. Therefore, as I mentioned, that with regards to your case study exams or your board exams, they are not written on demand. There are 3 windows in a year. Okay, you can write in May. The first week, I think it's generally the first week of May, the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's when you can choose to write your board exam if you are doing operational level. If you're doing management level, your board exam second week of May, the Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And then if you're doing strategic level, it's the third week of May, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And the same thing will happen in August, in November, and also February. Therefore, what happens? CIMA then publish in advance, 6 to 7 weeks before the exam, they publish a case study. Okay, they give you between a 25 and 30-page document about a company. Let's say it's MTN, right? Therefore, they'll give you information about MTN, where does it operate across Africa, the organizational structure, who are the senior managers. They give you information about the industry in which MTN operates in. They give you their financial statements. Therefore, you analyze this information. Then you get to the exam, they ask you questions. Therefore, what we do then as IMAS, we run what we call a case study workshop, where then now we analyze this with you, and then we do mock exams that are based on the actual case study. Okay, so that when you get to the exam, the questions looks familiar. You know what I mean? That's what you need to fully understand. Therefore, the case study that is used for the May exam is also used for the August exam. And then the case study that is used for November exam is also used for the following year's February exam. That's what you need to understand. Unlike the different individual exams where you get your results immediately after writing, with the board exams, you don't get your results immediately because those are marked by human beings, not by the computer. Therefore, you wait about 6 weeks to get your exam. And that's what you need to understand. With the intake that we are currently focusing on, which is going to start on the first week of July. Therefore, the intention is to try and help you to qualify for your board exam in November or February of 2022. That's what you need to understand. Generally, how our timetable for CIMA looks like, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like the following. It's just to give you an idea. Okay, this was the first semester timetable. Hopefully you guys can see it. Let me just make it bigger. Okay, I will come back to it. It looks like it's busy thinking. Let me just check it here. Okay, cool. Let's go back. Try and share again. Okay, great stuff. This is just to illustrate, ladies and gentlemen, this was the first semester operational level timetable. You can see now we run classes on Mondays for those who choose to attend midweek. You can see the classes started on the 22nd of February. Therefore, the classes ran for the first 5 weeks. Then on the week 5, then the students that either attend midweek and also on Saturdays, because whatever we do midweek, as I said, we repeat it on weekend, but all the students had to attend on Sunday, the 28th. You can see between 8:30 and 11:30. Therefore, that now gives you 6 classes. And then there was the Easter study break. Then there was a progress test one between the 5th and the 10th of April. Then they came back on the 12th. Again, they ran. This week, the students, they did attend the class on the 10th, which was on Monday. Those who are attending weekend, they are attending the second last class today, which is the 15th of May. Tomorrow, they're going to have a class on the 16th. That's what we need to understand. And then from there, ladies and gentlemen, there's going to be a study break, because after tomorrow, the classes are finished. Therefore, in essence, you can see the students, they get between 10 and 12 classes per subject. Therefore, you'll see F1 has more classes. They've got 12, whereas E1 and P1 has 10 classes, because the syllabus for F1 is quite lengthy. Okay, therefore 12 contact classes there. And then now there's going to be a 2 weeks of break between the 17th and the 28th. Okay, the students now are consolidating what they've learned. And then on the 29th and the 30th of May, the students will be coming on a Saturday and Sunday. Then we have a revision for 2 days, 16 hours. Okay, that's what we do, revision. And then what we do after that, we then make a recommendation to the students that remember, they would have done the revision, which has a mock exam, and they go through the mock exam. Then on the 2nd of June, therefore this is just a mistake there, on the 2nd of June, we recommend that they write the E1 exam. Why we do a recommendation? I said to you guys earlier, the CIMA exams are on demand. You can write them anytime you're ready. But if sometimes you don't recommend to students when they should write, they will procrastinate and never write the exam. And that is why we're saying you can't attend the revision on a Saturday and Sunday. Whilst everything is fresh, you go and consolidate your knowledge on Monday and Tuesday. The Wednesday being the 2nd of June, you write your exam. You see, that's what we do. And then from there, we give them another 10 days. Remember now, assuming that they've written, we give them another 10 days, which is a self-study. Now they are focusing on consolidating their knowledge of F1, because between the 3rd and the 11th of June, they are doing self-study, they're consolidating. Then we come and have a revision on the 12th and the 13th of June. Can you see that? And then we do, once again, 16 hours of revision. We're doing mock exams, lots of questions. We cover in excess of 200 questions, excluding the mock. The mock has 60 questions. Therefore, we make sure that the students are ready. And then after they've attended on the 12th and the 13th, then on the 16th, I know 16th of June, it's a holiday in South Africa, but because the exams are global exams, you can write them in the comfort of your own home. Then we make a recommendation. It's a recommendation, ladies and gentlemen. As one Jacob Zuma once told Parliament when he was responding on a question of the public protector's recommendation, said the recommendation is a recommendation. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, this is a recommendation. If you feel you're not ready, don't want to write on the 16th, it's okay. Okay? Then from there, you write your exam. You are done with your F1. Then we give you another 10 days, 17th to the 25th of June, you prepare for F1. We have a revision on the 26th and the 27th of June. And then we recommend that you write your exam on the 30th of June, you see, for P1, so that you can spend the whole of July preparing for your board exam. which will be written between the 11th and the 13th of August. That's how our timetable for all the levels, being operational, management, and strategic level, is structured. We make a recommendation, but it's up to you whether you'll write on the recommended exam date. Therefore, I hope it is giving you an idea of how our classes are actually structured for CIMA. Okay, I hope it's clear. Coming back then to this, obviously there will be workshops in July to prepare you for the board exam. Therefore, this gives you an idea. Okay, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let's then continue with our presentation. Therefore, I have covered CIMA, and I want to appeal with you guys. Stay. We're gonna open for questions. Don't leave. Now I want to touch on ACCA. Therefore, now, if you look at the structure of the ACCA qualification, it's not too different from the CIMA structure. They're very much similar, but there are differences. Okay. Therefore, if you only have a matric when it comes to ACCA, ladies and gentlemen, you will start at what we call the applied knowledge. Remember, with CIMA, we said you start at certificate level. With ACCA, you're going to start at applied knowledge. Therefore, there are 3 subjects, whereas CIMA has 4 subjects at certificate level. 3 subjects: accountant in business, management accounting, and financial accounting. However, if you already have a diploma, a degree, an honors, a master's, you could also be eligible for exemptions, ladies and gentlemen. And therefore, depending on where your qualification comes from, you could be exempted the 3 subjects at applied knowledge, and some subjects then at the 2nd level, which is known as applied skills level. The applied skills level, ladies and gentlemen, has 6 subjects, as you can see: corporate and business law, performance management, which is management accounting on steroids, taxation. You see now the difference between CIMA and ACCA is that taxation is a standalone subject. Financial reporting, audit and assurance. Now, once again, audit and assurance is a standalone subject in ACCA. It's different from CIMA. And then financial management. You see now, these are the subjects at skills level, but you could be exempted. For an example, somebody with a BCom accounting from UJ, for an example, is exempted the applied knowledge and the applied skills knowledge. They start at what we call the strategic professional level. But what you want to understand is that with ACCA, if you had started at applied knowledge and applied skills level, you also then have the option of doing a project, which then will give you a BSc in applied accounting from the Oxford Brookes University. You'll do a project which is a mini dissertation. You'll need to have a mentor, and then you do that project, and then you are given the BSc in applied accounting. The question that I often get is that why a BSc, not a BCom? Because in the UK, you know, they either have a BA and a BSc. Therefore, accounting qualifications, they fall under BSc. Okay, don't be puzzled. And then you move into what we call then the strategic professional level. With the strategic professional level, it is broken into 2 levels. There's what we call the essential level and then the options. The essential level is then made up of strategic business leader. Therefore, this is the subject that ACCA put together to respond, okay, to how we can ensure that our graduates, they do not only possess the technical skills which then they would have acquired from these subjects which are technical. Therefore, now if you look at strategic business leader, it's a subject then that aims to empower graduates with leadership and leadership, communication, and professionalism. We cover issues of governance, of strategy formulation, and strategy execution. We look at risk. We look at technology and data analytics. We look at organizational control. We look at finance, innovation, and change management. Therefore, this is what the syllabus will cover for a strategic business leader. But also ACCA says we want our graduates to excel or to possess what we call professional skills, which is communication, commercial acumen, analysis, skepticism, and evaluation. Therefore, integrated in the exam questions, then ACCA will also expect you to demonstrate professional skills. And that's what you need to understand. You can see now that this is the subject that brings the non-technical elements to the qualification. And that's very important that we understand, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, you can see when we speak about technology and data analytics, therefore we're responding to the digital world. We zoom into some of these disruptive technologies I've been talking about. And that's very important. And this particular exam, ladies and gentlemen, it is based on a case study. However, unlike CIMA, the case study, you don't get it in advance. Okay? The case study, you will get it on the exam day. And that is why this particular exam, unlike the other exams at applied knowledge level and applied skills level, which are generally 3 hours exam, this strategic business leader exam will be longer, will be 4 hours long. And that's what you need to fully understand. And then the second subject under the essentials is called strategic business reporting. This builds up on financial reporting. However, we are now focusing on holistic reporting, making sure that we can report to the wide range of stakeholders that an organization has. Then focusing on integrated reporting among elements, not just limiting ourselves into the International Financial Reporting Standard. Therefore, we broaden our reporting, focusing on performance reporting as well. For it's broader than just annual financial statements. That's what strategic business reporting is all about. And it will also be based on a case study. And that's what you need to fully understand, ladies and gentlemen. All the ACCA exams as well, they are computer based. We write them on a computer, okay? It has a variety of types of questions. That's what you need to understand. Upon then completing or passing these 2 subjects, strategic business leader and strategic business reporting, what then you will do, you'll move into your options where there are 4 subjects to choose from. Then now you can choose your specialty subject, whether you want to specialize in advanced financial management, advanced performance management. As I did indicate, performance management, it is management accounting on steroids. Okay, that's what it is in the main. And then you have advanced taxation and advanced audit and assurance. Therefore, you're going to choose from these 4 subjects, but you only choose 2 subjects that you want to specialize from. Upon then completing this, same thing will happen, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to submit your PER, which means a portfolio of evidence that you have a minimum of 3 years of experience, and then ACCA will assess it. Upon them being happy with what you have, then you will be given membership that you are a chartered certified accountant. That's what you need to fully understand. Okay, that is the ACCA qualification, okay, in terms of the structure. I hope it is clearer. Okay, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I've covered the 2 qualifications in detail, right? Therefore, it's very important that you understand why you should consider studying with IMAS. We are committed to excellent student support. Why? Because as I indicated earlier, the professional qualification journey can be long and lonely. Therefore, it is better than travel with someone who has your best interest at heart and well experienced to ensure that you get the best support to pass your ACCA exams or your CIMA exams. I've already showed you an example of how our classes actually are done, okay, the revision and so forth. But I want to reiterate what makes us different. It's our passion and love for what we do. And you can shop around and look at different institutions that offers ACCA or CIMA. One thing I can tell you is that we give more contact classes. And for ACCA, actually, I will show you now the timetable for ACCA, right? We give actually more classes because ACCA is harder, ladies and gentlemen, way, way harder. Therefore, it's very important that you are well prepared You know what I mean? Therefore, for ACCA, we've increased the number of classes that we give to students. Okay, we give between 12 and 18 contact classes for ACCA because we want to make sure that you stand a better chance of passing. Okay, I hope it is clear. And I'm just trying to now open the ACCA timetable so that I can be able to share it with you guys. It is opening. You should be able to see it shortly. This is just like a first block of time, first block timetable for ACCA. For one of the subjects that is hard in ACCA, and Mr. Raymond will tell you, it's financial management, it's performance management. These two subjects are hard at the skills level. Therefore, what we've done, instead of saying to students, we've got midweek classes that we repeat on weekends for subjects like financial management and performance management, we actually say students need to attend midweek as well as on weekend because we want to be able to cover the syllabus. If you can see that for financial management, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18 contact classes because this subject is hard. If we want to make sure we can spend more time with you guys in class, you know, and then still be able to run revisions. And that's the key that you need to understand. The other element as well is that with ACCA, ladies and gentlemen, as I did indicate, the exams are not on demand. Okay, since the exams are not on demand, there are exam windows for ACCA. There are 4 windows per annum. These windows, ladies and gentlemen, are in March. You can write your ACCA exams in March. You can write them in June. You can write in September and also December. With the intake that we are having, that is starting, okay, on the first week of July, the intention is to help you to prepare for exams that will be written in December. If for whatever reason you are unable to write in December, then it means you're going to write in March. That's very important for you guys to understand when the exams will be written. I hope it is clear. Therefore, the question that now could be asked, how do I start? How do I enroll for ACCA? How do I enroll for CIMA? For now, I'm going to take you through that quickly so that then you can ask questions. For now, I'm taking you guys to the IMAS website. For that's where everything starts, ladies and gentlemen. If you go to the IMAS website, just before I get to the IMAS website, maybe you want to know how to apply for your ACCA exemptions, right? Therefore, let me also show you, just like I illustrated with CIMA, how do you get your exemptions for ACCA. If you go to ACCA website now, ladies and gentlemen, the ACCA website, just like CIMA, which was cimaglobal.com. The ACCA, it's accaglobal.com. That's what you do. Okay, you go to accaglobal.com. And then when you get into the ACCA website, ladies and gentlemen, you go under help and support. If you go under help and support, okay, if you click there, then you scroll down, then you can go under exemptions. Under exemptions, ladies and gentlemen, you will then click use the calculator. Then you click there. There's your calculator. Therefore, now let's put an institution. Let's put UNISA. So you studied at UNISA. Then the country, it's South Africa. Then you choose South Africa. Then you search. And then you can see here, University of South Africa, you click that. Then they're gonna ask you which year did you graduate. Let's say you graduated in 2015, then you click next. Then ACCA will say, if you graduated in in 2015 and you have a Bachelor of Accounting Science or BComT as it's known, okay, then you can click there. Then they're gonna come and say, okay, you will be exempted the first 3 subjects at knowledge level plus 1 subject at skills level, which is the corporate and business law, okay? And if you have done the following modules at UNISA, you'll get the audit and assurance off. If you have done these modules, okay, you'll get financial management off. If you've done these modules, you'll get financial reporting, and so on and so forth, which means actually you could also start at the strategic professional. That's how you check your exemptions. Now, how do I start? How do I apply to start with IMAS, whether CIMA or ACCA? People say, do I need to apply for ACCA and apply for exemptions, or CIMA apply for exemptions before coming to IMAS? The answer is no. We will do your entire admin. Therefore, you come to the IMAS website, ladies and gentlemen, where it says register now. You can click here. Click register now. It's going to open the application form. Then you will fill up the application form. You will need to attach, okay, your academic transcript. If you do have a post-matric qualification, you need those certificates of graduation. If you have a degree and an honors, we need those, okay, and your transcripts. And then if you are doing CIMA or ACCA, we also need a copy of your ID. These don't have to be certified, ladies and gentlemen. I hope it is clear. Okay. Then once we have all of this, then you pay 200 Rand application fee. You'll see on the last page of this application form, you'll have the banking details, and then they will tell you, put in, you must use your name and your surname as a reference. You pay the 200 Rand, and then you'll send you an acceptance letter. And then if you are doing ACCA, then you'll pay 900 Rand, okay, which is your ACCA registration. Okay, and then if you are doing CIMA, you'll pay 1,900 Rand because the registration fees are not the same. Okay, you pay this, we register you with CIMA or with ACCA, we apply for your exemptions. Then let's say you just want to get an understanding of your quotation, how much you are likely to pay. Our finance team, and also through the student liaison department, they can organize for you a fully fledged and all-inclusive quotation, which includes your CIMA fees, the tuition fee, you know what I mean, or your ACCA fees plus tuition. Therefore, the guys can organize that. But if you want to know the tuition fee for IMAS, right, in terms of how much we charge, if you can come to our website, you go under CIMA student fees, depending whether you want to come full-time, part-time, or on these virtual online classes. Therefore, these are the fees for full-time, and you'll see the full-time fees. They are inclusive of your registration fee in your first year of enrollment, your annual subscription fee, your tuition fee, your exam fee for 1 attempt per exam. If you fail the exam, then you'll only pay just the exam fee. Okay, you'll get access to our student online portal loaded with our pre-recorded class videos, and this we offer as a value add. It's free. Therefore, the above full-time fees exclude the cost of study material. Study material is around 650 per subject. Okay, but if you are looking for part-time, whether midweek or evening, or you're looking for virtual classes, your fees are different. And these fees that are shown here covers your tuition and your study material. Tuition and study material. Therefore, your professional body fees are not included here. Therefore, if you are doing, let's say, strategic level and you are doing all 3 subjects, part-time, you come to our campus in Bram on midweek or on weekend, we charge 7,700 per subject, it will cover your tuition and your study material. However, if you on distance learning, it's 4,500. You only get study material and also access to pre-recorded classes. However, if you are doing virtual online classes, it is 5,250 Rand per subject, which then includes what? Your study material, and you can attend the classes live from the comfort of your own home. And that's what you need to understand. Therefore, the fees will be the same for strategic level, management level, and operational level, as well as your certificate level. That's what you need to understand. Okay. If you want to know how much are the professional body fees, you can scroll down and you can see your annual subscription fee. As I said, your registration is 1.9. Okay. And then the exam fee per subject are also given, but the team will help you with all your fees. How do you pay for your fees? If you are sponsored by your employer, we need the bursary letter, we verify it, and then we register you on the basis of that letter. We give you books, we give you access to our classes. However, if you are self-funding, you will need to pay, after paying the registration fee, you will need to pay a deposit of 2,000 Rand per module for your tuition. Okay, and then from the rest of the money, you can pay it over 5 months to 6 months via debit order. No interest is payable in the first 6 months. Okay, therefore the debit order form can be obtained from our finance team. That's what you need to understand. The same thing will apply when it comes to your ACCA fees, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. You can find them. If you come to our website, click under ACCA, you can go to Why ACCA. When you get to that page, you can scroll down. Okay, I can see it here, ACCA fees. That's how you can see your fees, ladies and gentlemen. The fees are given, structured the same, full-time, part-time. Then you'll see the ACCA fees are different from CIMA. Okay, so you'll see what we're showing you are your 2021 fees there. Okay, and then the professional body fees as well. Okay, therefore, if you want a quotation, Tabang and the team, you can email them on info@imas-sa.co.za. They'll put the email address on the chat group, or you can email our finance at imas-sa.co.za. They will assist you, to get a fully loaded quotation. Okay. Earlier on, then I mentioned, ladies and gentlemen, that IMAS will offer you more. You can't compare what we give to students with anybody. We give you more. Okay. And that is why that's what has led to us being the #1 when it comes to CIMA, and also having one of the highest pass rates in the world. But we are saying we're closer than you think. We use CIMA approved study material provided by Kaplan. And when it comes to ACCA as well, we use a Kaplan study material. We deliver books at your doorstep, whether it's your office or your home, regardless of where you are based in the country. We even deliver outside the country. We have a team of dedicated student liaison officers that are accessible to you guys. We have a flexible payment method as well. That's what you need to understand. So ladies and gentlemen, I've covered who we are, I've covered CIMA, the student support, and lastly, I want to get into our value proposition. Therefore, if you are studying with IMAS on a part-time basis, we're saying over and above you attending classes here in Braamfontein, over and above you attending our online virtual classes, we will give you for free access to our pre-recorded lectures that are available on our student portal. We're not going to charge you for this. Therefore, this will entail lecture videos, pre-recorded lecture videos, and lecture notes, which mean if you are stuck, there's a subject that was covered in class and you didn't get it, you can go to a student online, you can access these. These are recorded by our own lecturers, and we are sure it's high quality material. And I'm just going to show you quickly how to access these. can access them on the IMAS website as well. If you come to the IMAS website, once you are registered, you go under logins. Log in there. And then you click login. Obviously, you'll be given your own credentials. Then you should be able to see the subjects that you are registered for. For me, can see these are the CIMA subjects, and I scroll down the subject that I'm interested in ACCA. I can see strategic business reporting, strategic business leader, financial management, audit, but you can see more. Okay, therefore, let me just show you. Let me pick up one subject. Let's go to financial reporting for CIMA. If you click there, then what do you see? You'll see the structure of the syllabus, the lessons. Therefore, you can see you get given the scheme of work, which says this week, this is what you should be covering. You know what I mean? It's broken into the number of classes. Okay. Then it will say, then next you'll see chapter 1 to 3. For an example, it's taxation. If you click there, under taxation, it's the same for all the subjects. You get a bit of synopsis for what these chapters look at from a taxation point of view. And then you can see lecture video, lecture notes. Once you are done with your lecture video, you can also do a quiz, an online quiz. And then if you get some of the quiz wrong, you get the answers as well. And then it will tell you here how you have progressed on the course. Therefore, as you cover the material, then this gets greener and greener until you are done. Okay, therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I am done. Mr. Raymond from ACCA, is there anything, sir, you'd like to add? I know I've covered quite a lot. Are you still there, sir? Before I allow my students to ask questions.
Hi.
We're also joined by Mr. Kada from ACCA.
Okay, welcome, Mr. Kada from ACCA. Over to you, Mr. Raymond. Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to add, sir, that I've not covered?
Look, I think basically we've covered enough ground. Just to emphasize some 3 points.
Yes.
That in the country, Department of Higher Education has identified and listed the top 10 occupations that are in high demands. And in that top 10, 4 of those occupations that those who choose to pursue an ACCA qualification stand a greater chances of maximizing their chances to form part of those that are demanded by the both the private and the public sector, right? And that's important. The point that I just want to use that to highlight is that when people choose qualifications and professions to pursue, also consider the external factors as to what is in demand in the country, so that you don't find yourself being confined to one area when there is a professional qualification that can accord and afford you an opportunity to specialize and pursue other areas that are in high demand. 2, yes, it is important also to just to emphasize the point that you have raised, and this is pointed by the facet sitter about the shortage and the scarcity of chartered certified accountants, both in the public and the private sector. And what this means is that when you pursue a professional qualification and you become a chartered certified accountant, this gives you the authority to speak and express and present the work that you do with command. So you speak with authority because of you are considered a leader and an authority in that particular area. Now, let us then bring it home in terms of what becomes important for people to enroll and register, and more in particular with an approved learning partner such as IMAS. Our studies have pointed and indicated that persons who study through an approved learning partner, IMAS in this particular case, they stand a greater chance of progressing from one subject to another subject. What it means is that the rate of success and for a person to pass the subject is far much more higher when people enroll and study through a learning partner. In this particular case, we're speaking about IMAS. So basically, it's to encourage prospective candidates that instead of a self-study, that we encourage and recommend that study and register and study through an approved learning partner. As we say, IMAS in this particular case, right? And those who are employed, if you are employed, you want to pursue an ACCA qualification, employers in the country, companies in the country, both public and private sector, they do support and fund ACCA qualifications. So consider that option. If you want support, contact us in the office. IMAS can assist you. So register with IMAS, come to us so that we are able to engage and talk to your employer. That example, Kanyam Hlongo is registered with IMAS to study ACCA, and therefore, this is how you as a company, you can support this particular employee of yours to acquire the necessary professional competencies. I'm saying this because of yesterday, I had a discussion with Midvaal Municipality, where the CFO, the land manager, and the skills development facilitator, they've agreed to support and fund one of the students at Midvaal. And also, some of the land managers have decided to take the ACCA qualification, right? Why? Because of it's part of the facet, it's a registered qualification, it's recognized, it's highly demanded. It allows individuals to specialize as per the demand of the company, as a demand in the country. And also ESCOM has resolved to employ and fund candidates who specialize particularly on performance management, which speaks to cost and management accounting areas, because there's a demand by ESCOM and similar state-owned companies in those particular areas. Let's take the issue of funding and support further. Yes, I know you've covered this particular point. ACCA also provide what we call registration codes that enables a person to reduce his or her fees. In other words, you'll only pay ACCA annual registration fees. You don't pay your annual subscriptions. And then also your exemption fees are highly reduced. Now, with that amount of reduction of your fees, it will allow you to dedicate a focus the monies that you have to cover for your tuition fees and your study fees with IMAS as an example. So the discounted rates that we offer encourages and affords you an opportunity to redirect those funds to other areas of need, such as to study with IMAS. That's the first point. The second point is that you've covered this also, that you are accorded the exemptions. And now the theory around, or the philosophy around exemptions afforded by ACCA is that we want to fast track you. We want to support and fast track you so that we reduce the burden of studying all the subjects. Hence, you are granted exemptions because that will fast track you as a candidate to complete the ACCA qualification if you are dedicated, if you are committed in less than a period of 24 months. And we usually advise candidates that they don't put yourself under pressure. If it is possible for you to write one subject per quarter, explore that particular options, especially if you have got discounted registration codes, which allows you to reduce the fees, the amount that you pay. And then when you take one or two subjects per quarter, it allows you that over a particular period of 12 months or 18 months, depending on number of exemptions that you get, you are able to complete the ACCA qualification. Now, these registration codes are for accredited universities. There are universities whose qualifications are accredited, But we also have got registration codes for unaccredited universities, both public and private. In other words, a person who studied at TUT, Rhodes, Fortnite, Damelin, Monash, as long as they've got the relevant diploma or degree, they can use ACCA unaccredited universities codes. That also reduces the fees, but in addition to them getting the exemptions. You have covered the point around the professional quotient, which integrates 7 integrated questions for a person to be trained and developed holistically to become a competent professional accountant and to make a meaningful contribution in the sector that you'll be employed in. I spoke about MICVAL as an example. I spoke about ESCOM. Let me also indicate that we are working with more than 258 municipalities in the country. We are also working with Limpopo, Office of the Premier and the departments there in Northern Cape, ESCOM, Transnet and PRASA. These are some of the public sector institutions, organizations that are beginning and identifying ACCA qualification as a relevant qualification that will enable them. The ACCA qualification also will allow you to also get entry to study a master's at the University of Northwest. So in other words, is that University of Northwest has introduced a master's that allows people with an ACCA qualification. Here we are speaking about people who are chartered certified accountant to have a master's qualification. That has been designed in light of the fact that as a country and as a continent, as Africa as a whole, there's a growing demand of people who contribute towards knowledge generation to develop the professionals, the profession, and also to develop both the private and the public sector in terms of us to emerge globally. Hence, we've got University of Northwest having introduced a master's that allows people with ACCA qualification to gain entry. You also have got the Vet University that has introduced a postgraduate diploma at NQF level 8. So these are the great and impressive news and developments for those an ACCA qualification that you can explore and exploit. Your employer, if he cannot fund you directly, we can support your employer to engage their relevant SETA to secure a funding from their SETA that they're registered at. So we are saying that over and above you registering with IMAS, we are there to make sure that your ACCA journey become a truly professional developmental path that will enjoy, so that you are not there alone, but we are there to ensure that also your employer, your company get funding to support you. If you are unemployed, a facet SETA, EDTP SETA, I see that that you are also smiling, that also there are funding opportunities for the ACCA qualification. So don't sit and say that it's not affordable, I cannot do it. Take initiative, become proactive, and pursue the path and exploit the opportunities that are there. So yeah, that is that in brief. Thanks, Ngosinati. I've answered some of the questions online.
Yes, thank you so much, Brother Raymond. And when we start interacting with you, ladies and gentlemen, in terms of which path you want to pursue, ACCA and CIMA, and then I will be able to look at your qualification and see if on the basis of what Raymond has mentioned, your qualification can qualify for some of these specials when it comes to exemption fees and so on. Because at this stage for ACCA, you still pay exemption fees and it's charged per subject, okay? And the money will vary depending on the institution where you've studied. Whereas with CIMA, the exemption fees have been completely waived. You no longer pay the exemption fees, but we'll be able then to assist you guys as we embark on the registration process. I'd like to take this opportunity once again to thank you so much for staying with us. I'm ready now to take any questions. You just raise your hand, and then I'll
Mr. T,
yes, Tama?
before you take questions, I just wanted to ask Mr. Raymond if the codes he was talking about are the same that were sent by Linda.
Lina, yeah, it is the same, Tama.
Yeah,
the same codes he's talking about.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Mr. Raymond, for now, what the codes that we have received are for the non-accredited institutions. Can you please assist us with the codes for the accredited institutions?
Yes, we'll do that, Nkosinati, you'll get them.
Okay, thank you so much.
And can we also do this, Nkosinati, for every student who's registered? For every student you register and you use the codes, can you share that information with us so that we make sure that those codes are effected in the system and the students are able to benefit?
Okay, no problem. We'll do that. Thank you so much. Please take that into account, Taban, and share it with your colleagues here at the office. Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. You just raise your hand and then you unmute yourself, and then I'll call your name and then you can shoot if you have any question. We have about 18 minutes. Therefore, we'll use that effectively to take whatever questions that you may not have been able to raise on the chat group. Anybody? I see Mildred Manyange, you are unmuted. Do you want to ask a question? Mildred, unless you unmuted by mistake. Okay, let's move to somebody. Just unmute yourself, ladies and gentlemen, and then ask your question. I see Nkwata Jimmy Maputla. Go ahead.
Hi, my name is Nkwata Jimmy Maputla.
Welcome, sir.
I've got a postgraduate diploma in management accounting from UNISA.
Yes, sir.
I would like to ask that if a facet can be able to fund, actually my questions to the facet guy, if it can be able to help me with the funding to study CIMA through IMAS. Thank you.
Okay, my brother, are you currently unemployed?
I'm currently employed, but I'm employed in security sector. I'm a security officer.
Yes.
Because I've been looking for a job for a while without getting anything.
Okay.
Therefore, I'm in that industry so that I can be able to have an income. But by look of my salary per month, very difficult for me because I also have kids to look after.
Okay, no, thanks for that. I just need to clarify, ladies and gentlemen, we did have some funding from Facet, and I think right now it has been exhausted, the one that was allocated to IMAS, and also Facet only funds unemployed graduates. You have to be unemployed for you to qualify for the Facet funding. But what I'll ask you, Jimmy, to do, you can send an email to Monwabisi at info@imas-sa.co.za. Speak to Monwabisi about the internal IMAS bursary. The internal IMAS bursary, it's limited in terms of what it funds, and it doesn't fund everything. But engage with my team, speak to Monwabisi. Let's see if we can come up with a means to try and help you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Bapiwe Shange, do you have a question?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead, Bapiwe.
I wanted to ask if I have an MBA general and then an engineering chemical, what would I do? Would I do ACCA or CIMA? And what level would I enter at?
Okay, it depends on you, my sister, in terms of what you want to do. I know that with CIMA, if you have an MBA, they've got what they call a master's gateway route, where you are exempted to start at the management level. Even at the management level, I just want to go back to the presentation and show you exactly what we mean. If you recall, this particular picture that we the structure of the CIMA qualification that we took you through. If you have an MBA, you'll be exempted at the certificate level, operational level. At management level, you'll be exempted from writing the individual subjects, the E2, P2, and F2. The first exam you're going to write, it's known as the management case study. However, in order to prepare you for the management case study, you will need to attend the classes for E2, P2, F2, though you do not write the individual subject. Then this is the first exam you write. And then once you've passed this exam, then you go to the strategic level, you do the 3 subjects, you write the individual exams, you write your final board exam. That's what you get if you're doing CIMA. As far as I know, ACCA does not have a pathway for people with an MBA. Mr. Raymond, am I correct?
Can you repeat?
Do you guys have a pathway for people with MBA?
No, a person must have the relevant accounting or finance qualification. And then on the basis of that, then we can then speak of exemption.
Yes.
Exemptions, right? If he does not have a relevant accounting or finance qualification, it then means that she will start at the applied knowledge level.
Yes.
Therefore, so basically what you are saying is that she can still pursue an ACCA qualification. However, she will start at the applied knowledge level.
Yes.
And progress upwards.
Yes. Yes, thank you for that. My sister, I hope you heard. For CIMA, you'll get some exemptions because of your MBA, but with ACCA, you'll have to start from the bottom. Therefore, you'll have to choose which qualification appeals to you and then speak to our team, and then we'll guide you accordingly and we can process your application form. Okay, I hope I've answered your question. Okay, can I go to Tumelo Konjwana? Before Mr. Konjwana speak, Mr. Konjwana is one of those people who started with us at certificate level, passed all his exams first attempt, went to operational level, passed his exams first attempt, wrote his board exam, went to management level, passed his exams, wrote his management case study. He's one of those committed students. Then he took a break because he works for an important department of our country that looks after our safety. Therefore, now he's going to be restarting his studies at strategic level. Go ahead, Mr. Tumelo. I've introduced you now. You are the grandfather of IMAS.
Thank you, Honorable CEO.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like you said, my name is Tumelo Konjwana. And I've got 3 or 4 questions, depending on how you look at them. My first one is to understand when it comes to the issue of revision, is the revision online or will it be contact lectures? And again, regarding the revision, is the revision offered to distance learning students? And again, the distance learning students, did you say that they get pre-recorded lectures, if I heard you well? The other question is, you've mentioned the NQF level for the certificate. Can you just elaborate on the NQF level for the other 3 levels, that is operations, management, and strategic? What NQF levels are those? And my last question, yeah, like somebody who's supposed to join you on strategic level. So I would like to know, and I'm sorry for my assumption, what will be the difference between the association CMA and I hope the other one is fellowship CMA? Okay. So what differentiates those 2? Thank you very much, Honorable Member.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Konjwana. Okay, good questions. Firstly, revision. It differs. For people who choose part-time, because our Braamfontein campus is so big and we have big classes. And you've been here, Mr. Konjwana. Like we've got room 8, which can take 80 people. We've got room 9, which can also take 80 people. Those classes are big, and the rest of our classes as well. Therefore, we are saying for people who do part-time, and it's been the case with the first block, our classes are big enough to facilitate social distance. That's the first thing, which means for the part-time student, revision will be conducted if they so choose to come. It will be here in Braamfontein for the part-time student. For the student who are on online virtual classes, right? Their revision will be online. Same revision as the part-time. It's broadcast, right? Thirdly, for people on distance learning, the revision is accessible to them as well. Although the distance people get study material and get access to pre-recorded classes, when it comes to the revision, they will be allowed to attend the revision at no additional cost. I hope I've covered the revision question. Moving to the NQF question. The CIMA certificate level, it's NQF 5. The operational level, it's NQF 6. The management level, NQF 7. The professional body itself, which means now you are a CGMA, ACMA, right? Just like with ACCA, those professional bodies, CICA, they are all at the same level. It's NQF 8. I always say to people, don't get bogged down on the NQF. What you must understand, you've got a professional qualification. That's what employers look for. Are you a chartered certified accountant? Are you a chartered management accountant? That's what employers are looking for. Are you a CA? Because when you see it's still NQF 8, which sounds like it's an honors. You get what I'm saying? But the distinction is the fact that it's a professional qualification. And then going back to your last question, with CIMA, when you start, you get the ACMA, which is the Associate Chartered Management Accountant, and the CGMA. Therefore, as you get more experience, let's say now you are 10 years experience, you can also apply for the fellowship, which means you are an FCMA. And it's the same thing with ACCA. You start with ACCA, and if you have only 3 years or 4 years experience, as you get more, you can get now the FCCA, which is the fellowship. That's what it is. I hope I've answered you, Mr. Tumelo. Then I go.
Okay, just a follow-up.
Yes, sir.
So for the distance, for the distance learners, do they have the option of contact or online? But
it's
again,
pre-recorded, my brother. Distance is pre-recorded.
Revision.
And the virtual online, it's live classes. Then you can attend those live classes in the evening or on weekend. Distance is purely recorded. But
Okay,
we are flexible. Speak to us. We are your family. We are flexible. Speak to us.
The fellowship part, if you've already got the 10 years experience, can you actually submit that as your PER and then immediately get the fellowship instead of the associate?
That question, I will pose it to CIMA, then I'll come back to you, sir. I know that when I applied, I already had so many years of experience, but I started at ACMA. I've not applied for fellow because for me, right now where I'm at, you know, I no longer dream of working for anybody. These now are just prestige things, you know. That is why I have not applied for FCMA. Okay.
Thank you,
just
sir.
prestige. Thank you. Let's go to Senzo Chamane or Kamane.
Morning, everyone.
Morning, Senzo.
Yes, it's Senzo Kamane from KZN in Richards Bay, Northern of KZN, right?
Thank you for joining us, Senzo.
Thank you very much. Yes, I got a BCom in business management and a certificate in management development that I got in Mid-Park Education. So I would like to know if my qualifications are relevant in terms of doing a CIMA. Yeah, so I'd like to know if they are relevant, and I would like to know if I'm based in this side, Northern of KZN, there are any chances maybe there's any way that's maybe around in Richards Bay, maybe where I can able maybe to contact anyone in terms of assisting me? Do you have any branch around in KZN?
Okay, thanks for that question, Senzo. When it comes to exemptions, what CIMA looks at are the underlying subjects that you have done. You know what I mean? They will, when we apply for exemptions, they will look, what subjects did you do in your BCom business management or general management? That's what matters. It's the subject, my brother. Okay. And therefore you can apply, will apply for exemptions, and then CIMA will look at them and say, these are the exemptions you'll get. Okay. Then with regards to the fact that you're based in Richards Bay, we have a branch close by, as I indicated when we started. Last year, we had a branch in Umhlanga in Durban, right? I know people will say Umhlanga is not in Durban, but anyway, it's in Umhlanga. Therefore, we ran contact classes there. But in March, when the president announced the shutdown, we had to shut down that branch because we kept it open until September, October. But we saw that it was not longer going to be feasible to run classes. Hence, then we transition. Even Cape Town, PE, we transition everything to what we call now online virtual classes. These are live classes. Therefore, if you need help, you always, for every subject that you do with IMAS, we have a WhatsApp group. We put you in that WhatsApp group. The lecturers are there, the admin staff are there. You can always get help. And because the lecturers are there, you can see the cell phone number of the lecturer. In class, you'll be given his or her email. Therefore, you can be able to directly engage our team for assistance. I hope it's clear. And I can tell you now, in the first block, for an example, in my management class, half of the students in my management class for CIMA, midweek classes, they're all like half, they're in KZN. They're from Varsity College. You know what I mean? And they're happy. The service has been very good. The way classes have been offered, they're quite happy. We've got lots of students in Cape Town. Therefore, the classes are highly interactive. Therefore, you don't have to stress that you're not going to get support if you're on virtual. You'll get support. Let's go to, is it Divesh Lakman?
Correct. Thank you for the presentation. I think it's quite informative and very well presented. I just have a question. Sure. I just have a question from my side. So I'm a CA currently, and if I heard you correctly at the start of the session, you're also a CA. Just from your opinion and your view, so I'm considering studying a CIMA, and I just want to get your view in terms of the additional skills or knowledge that CIMA offers a CA currently. What would that be? And I apologize if you did present it earlier and I may have missed it. In your view, what additional skill sets will that provide me?
Okay, thanks for that question. And the same question was asked on Wednesday. We had a few CAs that had joined. And I can tell you now that we've had quite a number of CAs that have come through the last 3 years to do CIMA, including in our current semester, we have quite a few CAs as well. And one of the reasons why the CAs are looking at the CIMA qualification is because if you and I then agree, the CA qualification is very technical in its nature. Okay, for you focusing on technical skills, accounting, auditing, taxation, MANEC. Whereas now with CIMA at the strategic level, then they move away from the technical side. You know what I mean? They focus in making sure that you're an overarching business leader. Therefore, obviously, finance leader who can ascend to strategic positions, whether financial or non-financial. And if you then look at the picture in front of us, then you look at the subject. Financial strategy will be a subject that its content should be familiar, you know, to somebody like yourself who's a CA, right? But now, as you move towards the risk management, lots of cyber risk strategy, different elements of strategy that we look at there. You know what I mean? Therefore, you get into the strategic management. It's totally different. We're focusing on strategy formulation, strategy execution, change management, and project management. We focus on digital strategy formulation and understanding now what drives, you know, an organization as a whole. As I did touch on earlier, that we're focusing now on these new concept around ecosystems and business models. Therefore, that's what will set the CIMA qualification apart in terms of from the certificate level all the way to management level. The technical elements dominates, but when you get to the strategic level, there is less now of the technical elements. We are focusing on building you and preparing you to be one of the senior executive in your chosen organization. You can transcend, obviously, you can become a CFO, you can become head of strategy. I've seen when I worked at NetBank, you know, interesting enough, the two leaders that I can think of who headed up the strategy department, both of them were CAs. You know what I mean? Therefore, obviously, some of them would have done an MBA. I always say CIMA is actually an MBA on steroids. You know what I mean? I've done both qualification. Therefore, I can tell you what you get in CIMA and what you get in an MBA. You will get more in CIMA than you will get in an MBA. The difference is that there's no dissertation in CIMA, which is what you'll have on an MBA. But everything that you cover in an MBA, you'll cover in CIMA and more.
Cool.
Yes.
All right. Thanks for the answer. I think that helps greatly. Thanks.
Yes, and just the last thing as well, why, because also I have a lady called Paul, who's a lecturer at University of Pretoria, currently registered with us. She's a CA. And one of the reasons why she said to me she's pursuing CIMA is because she's relocating to the UK. And she knows that in the UK, CIMA is well entrenched. Therefore, she's hoping that with the CIMA qualification, over and above the fact that she's a CA, she can unlock and untap greater opportunities. You know, the fact that these are international qualifications as well. The merger between CIMA and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants has also given CIMA even more or greater visibility in North America, because now CPAs, just like we have CAs here, in America they've got CPAs, they now do this gateway route, you know, to get the CGMA designation. Therefore, there is more awareness of the CIMA qualification in the United States of America as well. I hope I've answered.
No, you have that. You made it a lot clearer. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. Karabo,
Yes.
I see your hand is up. Hi, Karabo.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you for the Zoom. It was well needed, number one. Secondly, I just wanted to find out, the last time I spoke to IMAS, one of the problems that you guys had was you couldn't help me rather with writing of my MENEC course under ACCA, because I'd already started with Boston Business College, but then Boston then discontinued the course.
Okay.
And then I'd written I was accredited for my first level, and then on the second level, I passed 2 out of the 3, and I needed to rewrite MENEC, but then I was not getting the help that I needed, and in so doing, I looked for a place where I could write, and I've really been struggling to find a place where I could write it so that I can write the last 3, which is auditing. I think it's auditing, taxation, and accounting, I think, yeah. So I just wanted to find out if IMAS now is in a better position to help me with the rewriting of that management accounting.
Okay, when you're saying management accounting, I just need to understand, are you talking about performance management at the skills level, or MENEC at the knowledge level from an ACCA point of view?
Second level, which
at
would
skills
be
level. Therefore, that MENEC is called
level.
Performance management. If we just show you the structure of the qualification quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you look at the structure, hopefully you can see it, because I heard that you still need to write auditing. Therefore, the subject that you need is performance management. Am I correct?
Correct.
We can help you with that subject. We've been helping students with it. We've been running classes with it.
Oh, okay, perfect. And also, last question is, the last time you guys held a branch at VIT, I was one of the students that won a free course. Does that still apply? Because Tabang couldn't help me with the performance management, and because of that, I still have that one course that you guys own.
I remember when ACCA hosted a function at VETS, and then we gave some courses away. Please speak to Tabang. I'm sure we can help you with something.
Please send me an email, but as a response to an email that was initially sent to you as an acknowledgement that you got the bazaar, then we'll take it from there.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, Garabo. Okay, cool. Christelle. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name correct. Christelle, over to you.
Hi, thank you.
I didn't want to attempt your surname. How do you pronounce your surname?
I don't think that's really important right now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Christelle is fine. Thank you.
Okay.
So thank you again for the presentation and everything. I have a honors diploma in business management that I got in 2015. And I have been working. I just resigned not so long ago because I am also running my own business, and I am intending to go back and study accounting.
Okay.
So I was wondering if ACCA was the right way to go about it, if I want to go the CA route, or if ACCA was the right way to go, or if I should just go for a degree, because I want to go the CA route. So I'm trying to understand in terms of I don't know if it's knowledge. Okay. Is it the same? Like, does it work the same in South Africa to have an ACCA certificate, or should I just take the CA route, or which one is faster? Because in terms of the age, also I'm not that young anymore. So, and which one is convenient with all that I'm doing now? Because I'm trying to build a business and I want to study as well.
Okay, cool.
I'm not intending to go back and work for someone. I intend to have my own accounting firm at some point. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for the question. It's up to you, to be honest, and I'll explain it this way. If you do ACCA, they no longer call them ACCA. I know that they used to be known as ACCA before, but they prefer to be called, ACCA. It's like this Model C kids. Yes, therefore, with ACCA, you will submit your qualification. They will have a look at your underlying subjects for your degree and your honors, and then they will decide if you've done relevant qualification or subjects. Then they'll give you exemptions, right? And therefore, the exemptions may vary. They may say you've not done accounting in your undergraduate. Therefore, we want you to start at knowledge level. It will differ.
Okay.
And then with CIMA, same thing will happen. Underlying subjects, they inform the level in which you'll start at. Okay. And then you speak about the CA. Therefore, if you've got a business management honors, therefore you can go to a UNISA or go to any other institution, you submit your documents, they will do the same thing. They will see if are there any subjects that you have covered that are relevant. And then they'll give you exemptions to then continue, let's say, with the Bachelor of Accounting Science or a BCom Accounting. You know what I mean? The process is going to work the same. But if your intention is to run your own accounting firm, specializing in accountancy, taxation, and auditing, the CA qualification and the ACCA qualification will be the recommended one. But if you just want to gain a business qualification that you can do anything with it, you know, can do accounting, can do business, can do risk management, you can consider CIMA as well. You know what I mean? But you must know, CIMA is not for auditing and doesn't specialize in taxation. You know what I mean? It's not for that. But if that's where you want to go, I'll say the CASA qualification is the best and ACCA as well is the best. It's up to you.
All right.
You know what I mean?
And how long does it take for ACCA?
With ACCA, you have the flexibility of, you know, working, studying. You know, you can take one subject, 2 subjects, you know, you've got that flexibility.
Okay. But but in average, how long does it take if I want to take, if I want to take as maximum of subjects at a time for like a semester? I don't know how it works. Like,
Okay, once the exemptions are out, then we can sit down with you. We can have a look at how many subjects you can take. I always say when you're doing ACCA, you can't take more than 3. It's just going to be too much.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then. Thank
Yeah,
you. Do
but
you have a
engage with
center in
Tabang.
Johannesburg?
Engage with Tabang. They've provided their email address. They will definitely help you.
All right. No, that's fine.
Thank you so much, Crystal.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see any hands that are up at this particular point in time. I don't know if I may close the session. Is there somebody who will just want to ask a last question? Okay. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, in the absence of more questions, yes, Tabang?
Just before you close, I'm not sure if I forgot, but I don't think we mentioned the part where a 2,000 deposit is going to be required for them to be fully enrolled.
Oh, yes, I did mention it, but I can just reinforce the point. Ladies and gentlemen, as indicated earlier, if you're doing ACCA, you pay 200 Rand application fee, that's an IMAS fee, then you pay your 900 Rand, okay, a registration fee. Obviously, if you come with the qualification from the institutions mentioned by Mr. Raymond, you could be eligible for some discount from the 900 Rand, okay? And then once that has been paid, we apply for ACCA exemptions. Once they come back, then we can give you a fully loaded quotations. In order for you then to become an IMAS student, you pay a deposit of 2,000 Rand per subject. And then from there, we give you books, and then the rest of the amount you can pay on a monthly basis. It works the same with CIMA. I must just also mention that for the CA friends and the guys with an MBA, your pricing structure is different. Okay, therefore engage with Tabang and Monwabisi. They will tell you how the fees work for the CAs and the guys that have an MBA. It's slightly different. Okay. Okay, I see Tinashe has his hand up. Tinashe?
Morning, everyone. How are you?
Thank you so much, Tinashe. Thanks for joining.
Good, and thank you for the seminar. It's been very informative. And so I just meant to ask something. Let's just say you took the ACCA route and you are ACCA qualified, and then you want to do CIMA. Is that advisable to do CIMA at the same time, or it's pretty much one and the same thing? And then if you decide to take the CIMA route, then how much of exemptions would you get if you are a full ACCA?
Okay, thank you for the question. For an example, our head of lecturing is an ACCA member. Then he also did CIMA. Therefore, just like CIPA members, you go through what we call the professional gateway, which means the first exam that you'll write is that management case study. And then you proceed to the strategic level.
All right.
And actually, most of of some of the full-time lecturer, you find that they did ACCA and then they've done CIMA.
All right. Now
it is not the repeat.
Okay. Oh,
yes, so you get more skills. You know what I mean? The focus is different. And more especially when you qualified as an ACCA member before the introduction of SBL and your SBR. Therefore, it's not a repeat.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yes.
All right, great. I think that'll be it then. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Senzo, I see your hand is up again.
Yes, no, sorry. No, just to like the way forward now, like if I want to start next year, 2021 January for CIMA, what would be the first step now?
You go to our website, you apply if you want to start next year, Jan, but we also have an intake that's starting now in July. Therefore, you start now because the process of exemptions could take between 10 working days to 15 working days. Therefore, the sooner you start, you pay your registration end of the month, and then we get everything sorted out. Then come July, you will have received your books and everything, and then the classes starts. But for those who want to do distance learning, you can start anytime. I hope it's clear. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to thank all of you guys for joining us. Thank you to Mr. Raymond from ACCA and Mr. Carter from ACCA. Thanks to Tabang, my colleague, and Monwabisi, who were helping you guys with some questions. I see on the chat some questions are still coming through. We'll stay for another 5 to 10 minutes and deal with whatever questions that may arise. But thank you all for sacrificing your first 2.5 hours of today to spend time with us. We are accessible to you guys. Should you want to engage us further, we are available. Feel free to give us a call midweek on 011-331-7343. 011-331-7343. Contact info@imas-sa.co.za. We will send you an email with this presentation on Monday, and also outlining the way forward. But feel free to engage with my team after this. Okay, thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you spending time with us.
Cheers, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, thank you, Honorable CEO.
Bye, Mr. Conjuana. You must give me a shout, Mr. Tumelo. I want to understand why you're asking about distance learning. Have you relocated back home?
Yeah, I'm going back home.
Oh, okay, okay.
Nati, thanks, Baba. All the best.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ray.
So we'll talk.
Definitely. Mr. Kada.